You can't tell, but it is snowing here in Dallas, Texas. But we're going to make it rain at UFC Vegas 101. And while that's a ridiculous thing to say, when you're a man my age with my personality, the sentiment remains the same. We've been doing really, really well betting on UFC, and let's continue that success to the first fight in 2025. Here's a closer look at some of that success. I have hit 9 of the last 10 safety parlays. And if this is your first video you've watched of mine and you're wondering what the hell is a safety parlay, it is a single parlay that I put on the board every week. We call it safe. While nothing in this sport is safe, this one single parlay does remain the beacon of stability. 9 of the last 10 in the most volatile sport to bet on in the world is pretty impressive. The only one I lost was UFC China, and I woke up in the middle of the night to an Asian lady almost dying when getting head kicked. But the reality is, not only is the safety parlay doing quite well, as are the rest of the bets. Here's the last 15 fight cards, pre and post break. We have been doing insanely well, 24% ROI overall. And the long-term success is what matters. Anybody could have one good night and brag about it for a month. But to have this level of success over 15 fight cards is not a coincidence. It's not an accident. It is detailed, diligent notes. It is breakdowns of tapes and working through the fights and understanding how different matchups work and how things are going to happen. We've been very successful, and I want you to be as successful as we have been. If you go to WeWantPicks.com, it's only $10 a freaking month. And guess what? UFC 311 is next week. It's only $10 for an entire month to have access to not only all the bets that we have placed, but also tools that will help you find your own bets. One of those tools is the Prop Hunter. It's a curated set of data specifically designed to help you find prop bets, but also the line movement tracker. This will give you the opening odds, the current odds, the win probability, and the line movement for every fighter and every card, and a whole bunch of other tools and insight and information that I don't have time to talk about right now. So you can go to WeWantPicks.com, click Become a Member. It's $10. You hate it? Oh, well, you lost $10. You love it? It's the greatest money you will ever spend. We have 4,600 premium members. And if that's not a testament to how well things have been going, I don't know what is. And every single thing that we offer is available inside of an app. We released an app just about a month ago, and you can download it right now. It's free. It's on the iOS App Store. Just search We Want Picks. And if you start commenting, but I have an Android. Sorry. We're working on an Android version right now. iOS, search We Want Picks in the App Store. All the picks, the bets, the tools, everything you want or need in the app, ready to go. Download it now and become a premium member. It's the best freaking money you'll ever spend in this space ever. Now let's talk about this card specifically. Jacob and I will be there in person, sitting on a couch together like a couple of gentlemen sharing an apartment in Brooklyn, watching these fights cage side. So these bets are even more dramatic when you're watching it happen in person. Before we talk about the bets, which I will show you, relax. Let's talk about some generalities. Who I think is a good favorite in general and some solid underdogs in general. Favorite-wise, there's a couple of big monster favorites that I think are pretty obvious, and then a couple of smaller ones that I think could be quite valuable as well. Magomed Gadzhiesulov. I think he's just the better fighter. The biggest issue is he can't defend takedowns, but I'm not that worried. I think his striking is too good. His offensive wrestling is too good. And I think he got that first UFC fight out of the way. And now he's really going to settle into who he can be as a fighter. And I think these minus 180 odds are honestly kind of affordable given his skill set and what he can accomplish in this sport. Nurullo Aliev, he's juiced at minus 700. Those odds obviously continue to widen. I'll show you a couple of bets. I had his original opponent. I thought he was in a smoke there, and I think he wins here as well. The reality is he's a very good fighter. He's got good striking, very good offensive wrestling, and good jiu-jitsu defense. The jiu-jitsu defense is what's going to matter here. He's fighting Joe Solecki, a jiu-jitsu guy. As long as he doesn't get a Hail Mary sub thrown at him, he should be good to go. Jacoby Smith. It is always risky betting on UFC debuts. That's just the reality of this sport. But Jacoby Smith is a high-level wrestler. He's got speed. He's got power in his hands. And as long as he's got cardio, he can be something meaningful in this sport. He is stepping up on short notice. A lot of people do want to question his cardio. I'm not as worried about it as other people are. Yeah, he slowed down a little bit in his Contender Series fight, but who cares? Even if he's a little gassed, he'll be fine. He'll just get a takedown and camp out. But Jacoby Smith can get the takedowns here. He's got power in his hands. He's fighting Preston Parsons. Preston Parsons is a UFC fighter. right? So he'll be the best person that Jacoby Smith has ever fought. But I think Jacoby still passes the test. I think he gets the takedowns, avoids the jiu-jitsu stuff, and potentially can find the finish maybe on the feet or on the ground. And then Austin Bashi, another UFC debut. This is a little different. Jacoby Smith is fighting somebody that he can definitely beat. Austin Bashi is fighting somebody in Christian Rodriguez that has proven multiple times over he is kind of a prospect buster. So Austin Bashi is going to have to do what many people before him have not been able to do, which is beat Christian Rodriguez in a UFC debut as a prospect. I think he can do it. He's a superstar in the making. He's a young kid. He's not that young, but he's a pretty young kid that's doing quite well. He can grapple. He can strike. He can do all the things. I think the wrestling is going to be the difference here. C-Rod can get taken down. Where C-Rod tends to shine is he's taken down, but he doesn't panic. He doesn't expel a lot of energy. He stays safe, and he just keeps coming, and he just keeps coming. And then all of these UFC debut or early in their career prospects gas like crazy. And then C-Rod takes over. I don't see Austin Bashi gassing or panicking as much as some previous guys have, so I think he gets it done. If we're looking at underdogs, I got a couple of bets on underdogs, and then some other underdogs that I think are solid, even though I didn't bet them. Trey Ogden, I did bet on him. I'll show you that. Right now, he's plus 155 on Bet Online. You can get better odds at Bet Openly. Bet Openly is just peer-to-peer betting, human to human. It's not you versus a book. It's you against another human being in real life. And if you win, you take their money. And because they don't care who wins or loses, because it's between two people, you can get some better odds there. He's plus 155. I think that's decent. I think Trey Ogden can win this fight with wrestling. Obviously, Thiago Moises is very good, very experienced, very well-rounded. And he's probably better than Trey in a lot of aspects. But I think Trey has proven he can be controlled, he can be strong, he can be confident, and he doesn't take too many risks. So I think Trey can get takedowns, camp out on top, elbows in, and really take control of this fight and sort of grind through a win. So I think Trey gets it done. Then we got Nicole Cagliari, plus 220. It's definitely a higher mountain to climb for her than Trey Ogden. So she's fighting Ernesta, however you pronounce her name. And Ernesta is a very long, lean kickboxer. Nicole Cagliari, or Nicole, is a bully. She's strong. She's jacked. She wants to come forward, drag you to the ground. And we've seen Ernesta have some issues with takedown defense. So if Nicole can dictate, can make that game plan happen, she will drag her to the ground and she will get it done. But if she gasses and gets tired and can't get some early takedowns, she may get frustrated and she's just going to get pieced up at distance. But I do think she's a decent underdog here. Punahele Soriano. Listen, I literally have a bet on the other side. I've bet against Punahele. But the longer I look at it, the less confident I get, the more nervous I get. Because while Uros Medic is very good and he hits very hard and he's got an insane finish rate, he also can be taken down. And Punahele is a Division III All-American wrestler that we have not seen use his wrestling. And then in his last fight, all of a sudden, he comes out looking like a Division III All-American, is sticking to the wrestling game plan at his new weight class. I don't know what he's going to do here. I still trust Uros to get it done, but Punahele might be a sneaky good underdog. And then we got Felipe Bunes. I have a bet on him, which I will show you in a second. I'm leaning on the wrestling here. He's fighting Jose Johnson, quite literally the longest featherweight in UFC history. Or not featherweight, the hell am I talking about? Flyweight in UFC history. And I think Felipe Bunes can come forward and get the takedowns. Jose Johnson gets taken down. That's his issue. He's got plenty of losses, and almost all of them are because he was taken down. If Felipe Bunes, who shoots takedowns, can come forward, grind this fight to the ground, he can take over, he can win, just stay safe with those long limbs. So I think he's a solid underdog. Let's take a look at the actual bets. I've got 5.25 units on the board. If you've been a premium member, you have seen a lot of these bets over the last couple of weeks. While everybody else is taking a break, Big Ange is over here putting bets on the board. I have bets on the board right now for UFC 311, UFC Saudi Arabia. And if you want to unlock all of those, just go to WeWantPicks.com, click Become a Member at the top. Here's a look at some of the action I've got going today. Right off the rip, I had Nurullo Aliev versus his original opponent in Yanal Ashmals and Magomed Gajiasulov smacked together. Obviously, when Yanal Ashmals dropped, this basically just became a money line for Magomed. So I lost half a parlay, which was great odds. Now the odds aren't great. It's just a money line, but that did turn into a minus 170 bet. Here's the bet on Felipe Bunes. You can see I beat the line movement. I got it at plus 175. If you've been a premium member during the break, then you saw that bet at those odds as well. Obviously, he needs to win for the odds to even matter, but I do think he can win. I have a half a unit on him at the plus 175. Then here's the parlay I talked about. I got Uros Medic and Cesar Almeida. Both gentlemen just need to keep this standing. If they can keep this fight standing, they win. That's it. That's the breakdown. Abdul Razak Al Hassan, who's fighting Cesar, is a high-level judo practitioner who doesn't use it. Then we have Punahele Soriano, a very good wrestler who doesn't use it. And as long as those two gentlemen do what they have been doing, which is strike, they're going to lose, and my parlay hits one full unit plus 136. Then I have a money line on Trey Ogden. I didn't quite beat the line movement there. I got it at plus 145. He's floating around plus 150, plus 155 right now. So even better odds for all the reasons I already mentioned. I think he can come forward, dictate the wrestling, grind out a win. Then I have a parlay, which you have to be a premium member to unlock. And the reality is, one unit on that parlay, I am pretty confident in that as well. Then I have Victoria Dudakova plus 3.5 points. If you don't know what that means, essentially every single judge, right, there's 3 judges, has to score every single round 10 points or fewer. You total up each judge's 3-round points, and then you add 3.5 to the total. You're betting the spread. The way the math works out in simple fashion is essentially your fighter needs to win 1 round on all 3 judges' scorecards. So if your fighter loses a split decision, you should be good. If your fighter loses a 29-28, you should be good. If they win outright, you're definitely good. I bet the spread. I think Victoria Dudakova can have enough success to win a single round. But I only put a quarter of a unit on it. The odds are great at plus 300. Then I've got 2 more parlays for you. One of them is the safety parlay I mentioned earlier. That's the beacon of stability in this space. There's not a single human being on this planet that puts one bet on the board every single week like I do and hits at the percentage that I hit at. Nobody. Hit 9 of the last 10. 90% over the last 10 events. You can unlock that safety parlay, the rest of these bets, Jacob's bets, and everything else right now for freaking $10 an entire month. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. Here's a closer look at Jacob's bets. Most of Jacob's bets are going to be premium. He's got 7.3 units on the board right now. It is only Thursday. We are not at fight day yet. There is a lot more bets coming. You will see he's got a lock of the week. Jacob picks an underdog every single week, puts out a video. I normally would show you that bet right here. The only reason I didn't is because you people aren't watching his entire lock of the week video. The video is a beautiful highlight of Amanda Ribas, and then you guys see that and instantly go, Amanda Ribas is the lock, but Amanda Ribas is a favorite. It's supposed to be an underdog. Brr. That was my impression of you. That's not the bet. It's not an Amanda Ribas money line. It is a prop bet. And then he gives you 2 locks, essentially. There's another one that he just slips in there. Say, hey, if you don't like this one, here's another one for you. So watch the damn video. All the time and effort he puts in. He also has a bet on Trey Ogden. He's got a full unit on him at plus 130. He's got a couple of other bets. As I mentioned, 7.3 units on the board right now for you. And if all goes well, you essentially double your money, bring back 14.44 units. Unlock every single one of his bets, my bets, Bet Sam, which is a new addition, and a whole bunch of other things. WeWantPicks.com. It's $10 a freaking month. Click Become a Member. No tiers, no bullshit. Everything. One package, $10. And finally, here's a closer look at Bet Openly. I mentioned before, it's not a sports book. It's peer-to-peer, human to human. And because it's not a sports book, they don't care if you win or lose. The only way DraftKings stays in business is if you lose. If everybody's winning money and they're just paying out, they go out of business. So they need people to lose. They typically beat you with these stupid-ass parlays. Stop doing 29 leg parlays for $5. That's just free money to them. They made, I forget the stat, I'm going to get it wrong, but you can Google and find it, something like $40 billion last year on parlays. Okay? Slow and steady wins the race. The reason my ROI is so incredible is I don't have these ridiculous. Every bet I place, I think I hit. Anyway, a lot of blabbing to say you're going to get better odds at Bet Openly than anywhere else because they're not a sportsbook. They don't care who wins or loses. It's my money on the board, your money on the board. The winner keeps all the money, and they take 1% from the winner. If you win $100, they take $1. And that's to keep the website going and do all the things. Check them out at betopenly.com or wewantpicks.com/betopenly. And finally, again, every single freaking thing that we do is available inside of the app. Check the app out. You can go to the website. You don't need the app, but the app allows for push notifications, just a better experience. Search We Want Picks in the App Store. And if you want $50, I'll send you $50. $50. Go to wewantpicks.com/bets. Use our affiliate link to sign up with any partner. make a deposit. They pay us. I slice off some money. I give it right back to you. That's WeWantPicks.com/bets. Good luck this weekend, guys. I'm looking forward to watching these fights live, and hopefully we're going to kick off 2025 with a bang.